The ocean is vital to our survival. It provides us with food. It regulates our weather. It's home to plants that produce half the air we breathe. But many of our ocean ecosystems are reaching a tipping point. Think of a car that's perfectly balanced on the edge of a cliff. Then a tiny insect lands on the hood of the car, and bam, the car goes toppling over the edge. That bug was the tipping point that hurled the car over the cliff. Like that tiny insect, it doesn't always take much to topple a stressed ecosystem. So how can we predict when an ecosystem is approaching a tipping point, and what can we do to prevent that system from going over the edge? Researchers from a number of universities and organizations are working together to answer just that as part of a collaboration called the Ocean Tipping Points Project. They hope that their efforts will help protect vulnerable ocean ecosystems around the world.
So one of the challenges when you have an ecosystem tip into another state is you can dramatically change the types of benefits or services that people get from the ocean. And this can have really wide-ranging effects on the community. Some people will win because they'll get new benefits from the ocean in this altered state, but many people will lose. And this change can be really upsetting to a community's culture, to its dynamics, to its values. And we're trying to understand what happens to the environment and what happens to the communities when these tipping points occur and how we can avoid going over them.
So the first goal of the Ocean Tipping Points Project is to try to help scientists and managers better understand how and why and when marine ecosystems might undergo these abrupt changes in ecosystem condition. Our second goal is to try to then connect that knowledge to things that managers can monitor so that they have feedback and information coming back into their decision-making process about what state the ecosystem is in and how close it might be to a tipping point. And then the third goal of the project is to try to inform the actual decision-making process by helping managers evaluate and weigh the costs and benefits of the different management actions that they could take to either avoid a tipping point or to restore a system that has crossed that tipping point.
I've been working with Phil Levin, who's leading our Ocean Tipping Points team in Haida Gwaii, to understand some of the changes in herring fishery over the past few decades and the consequences for both people and ecosystems. This particular fish is so important to people. It's so critical to people's way of life, and there's real interest in trying to work towards solutions that are satisfying to, multiple outcomes and multiple objectives.
The reason why I'm super excited about the Tipping Points project in Haida Gwaii is that we're really bringing together the ecology and the human dimensions and trying to understand tipping points simultaneously, that changes in nature lead to changes in culture and sometimes are irreversible.
From the early interactions that we've had with our partnerships, it's so clear how much heart and importance getting these management decisions, getting it right, how important that is. And for me, I am thrilled to be able to help to crystallize what are the important types of science questions that will help them manage the ecosystem that they love so dearly better.
Hawaii is a great case study because it's one of the most important coral reef sites in U.S. waters. What I've really enjoyed about the Ocean Tipping Points project is being able to do science in a way that really pushes the boundaries of ecological understanding, but also has to be done in a way that has direct relevance to managers, and we've engaged managers throughout the process to really guide our research questions and the presentation of our results to be really accessible and useful to managers now, and that's been a really rewarding part of the project.
I got involved in the Ocean Tipping Points because I'm really interested in bringing the science of tipping points to local management. So my lab has been building a lot of models that combine the physical system with the socioeconomic system to understand what people care about and how we can kind of guide management to come up with solutions that produce outcomes that people care about.
This project is really critical because it's helping us identify the difference between different coral reef communities around the state of Hawaii. What gets me excited and what gives me hope and faith is that there's really been a renaissance of community-based and traditional management practices within Hawaii and throughout the Pacific as a whole. And so these communities really care for their reefs. I feel the Ocean Tipping Point Project can help integrate this and provide not only support for local communities, but provide an overarching view of how this can be integrated into more of a coherent marine spatial management plan that can go towards providing all the goods and services that we all value from the ocean, and yet providing sustainability for the resources far into the future.
My role on the Ocean Tipping Points project is to really look at what are the available policy levers in existing law and what are some of the existing management examples of where we really are incorporating threshold-based management into decision making. Working on the Ocean Tipping Points project, I think, is truly one of the most rewarding experiences and projects I've had at the Center for Ocean Solutions, and I think it's because it is a true example of interdisciplinary problem solving.
My motivation for getting involved in this is based on this idea that we have at EDF that the stronger the scientific foundation for resource management is, the better it's going to work. So what I hope comes out of the project is just that. You know, now that we have generated a lot of scientific insight into how these systems behave, the next logical step, of course, is to build that into the management systems that exist right now, but also to help folks who have no management system.
We're really trying to work together to solve what's a very difficult problem, but I'm hopeful because of the team that we brought together and new science really coming together with an interest from the management community in trying to tackle these ecosystem level problems.
For more information about the Ocean Tipping Points project, you can check out the Tipping Points website and follow their Twitter feed.